Okay, only 10 more presents to wrap. You're almost at the finish line. But first... There, the last one. Enjoy a Coca-Cola for a pause that refreshes.
You're listening to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. This is our weekly and first recap of the new season of Married to Medicine, season 12. And how would you guys rate it? What did you think of it? We were just live recapping the Real Housewives of Potomac. No promises, guys, that I'll be able to do 2 recaps in a day. I know I've done it before, but do I really want to keep doing that on a Monday? Mondays already feel busy enough. Our recaps of Real Housewives of Potomac, I don't want to rush those either. But no promises, especially because we don't necessarily have a live on Tuesday. So don't be surprised if some Mondays I will push back Married to Medicine and recap it on a Tuesday afternoon. So you'll let me know what you think, or if maybe we don't recap it at all. We will talk about it. We will definitely talk about it. We did have some breaking news during our Potomac recap, but I did post a separate video in regards to Kandi and Todd's divorce. I posted and pinned it in the live chat on YouTube, but if you're watching on Twitch or Facebook or on X, head on over to our YouTube channel. You can see the separate video that we just posted. Hence, also part of the reason why I was a little bit tardy for the party. I also rewatched in the background as I'm multitasking, rewatched the latest episode of Married to Medicine. I watched it last night. I have to say, I was 30 minutes in to Married to Medicine, and I was just like, I'm bored. And even rewatching it, I was like, I don't think anyone is interested in a fight between Dr. Simone and Quad. And I know what their argument would be. Well, we have to give you guys keep saying that you want real, and this is what's really happening within the group. That's fine. We don't want to watch it. We're not interested. What we are interested in what they should have done this season was to make some major cast changes. And I know some people will say, and I will even say this too, part of me is sort of like, damn, is this what an episode or a season is like without Dr. Heavenly? But I'm not going to say that. What I'm saying is it is going to be like that without Dr. Heavenly because you have the same players. If we had some new people, and yes, they introduced 2 new people to the group. We don't know anything really about them besides their employment this week. That's all we got from the premiere episode. But I felt like the premiere episode was Toya, I have to give it to her. No matter how you feel about her, you could see she was working overtime to get the stories going. But they should have made some major cast changes this season. People have been telling Bravo and purveyors of pop that they're tired of this cast. And the fact that the main storyline at the top of the season, and based on the preview for what's to come, is about Quad and Dr. Simone's issues, no one is invested in that. No one is interested in that. We would have been better off if you guys took your time before coming back, even though y'all took a while to come back. Would have taken your time to really find people that could mix and mingle with some of this cast. And where's Audra? Yeah, here I am another season asking about Audra, and she hasn't been on in like 3 seasons. And Audra actually mixes and mingles with this group. What? Is it, Toya, are you the reason why Audra isn't coming back? Because you got so in your feelings because she pointed out your issues? Is that why Audra is not welcome back? You couldn't move on, Toya? Model Mia says Toya looks so good in her confessionals. That's one of the beautiful gowns. No, Toya really, for me, other than anyone else in this cast of people, really was working overtime to get the stories moving and to bring the drama. She was the one to bring the Dr. Heavenly son drama. Exactly. Kendra says, I liked Audra. Our community, for the most part, I know some of y'all didn't, for the most part, liked Audra. We've been saying this for the last 2 seasons, but here we are. I'm done saying it. I'm glad, though, that they've added nurse practitioners into the mix and nurses into the mix. this season, because a lot of us have been saying this for a while now. Medicine is not just doctors. But speaking of the doctors, we could do without a Dr. Jackie or a Dr. Simone, if not both. But I knew that they weren't going to get rid of either one. But I also realized they're not going to get rid of one either. So I don't know what you guys, unless this is the last season of Married to Medicine, it's the same thing. It's the same old thing. And this is coming from someone that's been a fan of the show since the beginning. And the early years are worth watching. Watch the first 8, 9 seasons. Those are stellar years, okay? Despite some moments, Dr. Jackie. But now it's like it's the same thing. It's the regurgitation. The fact that you guys have to flash back to multiple things that have happened over the years between Quad and Dr. Simone. Fine, they don't like each other. They haven't resolved their issues. We don't care. And literally King, Quad's man, is basically saying what the audience is saying. We are no longer interested in watching that. So the first 30 minutes, I was incredibly bored. I was like, this is not giving. This is not giving what they think it's giving. It got a little bit better towards the end, but that was mostly because of Toya. I did enjoy Toya. Thank you for it, because I've been missing you moving from house to house. I know some of y'all know, because I like seeing the new property. You know I love real estate. So she's moved into her new home. Okay. We'll get to it in a second. So they start off the episode, they're flashing to the different ladies that are part of the show. Toya, I'm here for Ashton, dragging you any chance he gets. He's the only one in this world that seems that's able to do it. So I'm here for it. He's like, why? She's like, why are you going so fast? He's driving now. Yeah, her kids are old enough to drive now. He's driving, and she's like, why are you going so fast? He's like, you be driving 100 miles per hour. I have pictures of it in my phone. Excuse me? He says, I got pictures of it in my phone. I love it. I love it for us, and I enjoy and I guess production probably also realizes that we love seeing it too, so they include it. We need somebody, and she's an Aries, so it's hard to drag an Aries. But Ashton, what's Ashton's sign? Ashton always seems to find a way. Always seems to find a way. All right? Tyree says, I would like to hear more about the fertility journey, which we're going to talk about. Let's talk about. So at the top of this episode, we have Quad having a big old pool party. Not big old pool party, but a pool party with her girlfriends. One of her girlfriends is Angel Love, who's going to be a friend of this season. And they're out there having a good old time by the pool. King's inside making food for them. Okay. So Quad's having a good old time. Quad looks good. I don't know about Quad's 40-something years old. And that's a natural booty, right? Because, don't get me to lying, but that looks like a natural booty. I was like, all right, Quad, looking good. So Quad goes inside and she's like, hey, baby. And then she's hugging up on him. And then she feels like she felt something, like, I guess maybe she felt like he may have gotten excited down there. So she's like, oh, what's going on down there? He probably was like, nothing. And she's like, oh, I just thought, maybe. So speaking of the fertility journey, I'm interested because based off her confessionals, I think she has really been going through it in regards to her fertility journey. Not saying that she's pregnant, but I know that y'all noticed. Can we talk? I just noticed some things, and I was like, oh wait, this fertility journey might be real. But here's why people will question if it's real and not just a storyline. At the top of the episode, she talks about how King and her are still living separately, and they haven't made a decision on whether or not that, they're going to get another place together, or she moves in with him, or he moves in with her. He doesn't want to do that. But my thing is, like, you guys have had a conversation to have a child together, but you can't figure out whether you're going to live together and you're still living separately? Huh? Yeah, Angel moved from Basketball Wives to Married to Medicine. I don't really know much about her. I know she was on Basketball Wives years ago. Beautiful woman. I know nothing about her, but she's Quad's friend. Okay. Damn. V says Quad is in her 40s, but she is not 44. Okay. So she's lying about a couple of years? Come on now. She still looks good no matter if she was 50. I'm like, she looks damn good. But okay. I think she's always had like an older spirit. Not that she's ever looked old. She just she carries herself a little bit older than she is. I think not so much now, but in the early years she did. Okay. All right. So I don't see, that's where it kind of doesn't land for me in regards to Quad and King's relationship. You've made the decision to have a child together, but you don't know if you're going to live with each other. All right. Akemia says that child, she ain't getting knocked up. OMG. Also, the Ghana of it all, I'm confused. I guess we'll see, because that's part of her journey. Because at first she was working with Dr. Jackie about having her baby here in Jackie's clinic. So it makes me wonder, why did they stop doing it there and now they're going to the motherland to do it? I don't know. Okay. So Angel and Quad have been friends apparently for a long time. This is Angel's introduction. She's a registered nurse. Fine, great. I guess that's Quad's way of still being connected to medicine, is her friend is an RN. Then we're all connected to medicine. My grandmothers on both sides were nurses. So put me on Married to Medicine. Both my sister is a nurse practitioner. Okay. What else? I have a bunch of friends that are nurses. Put me on. I don't want to be on Married to Medicine. I'm just saying, like, is that what we're doing now? That's the association? Okay, fine. All right. Oh, good point. I never thought about that. Watson says, anytime a younger woman marries an older man, she presents as older. Sweet tea. Okay. Susan says she's closer to 47. All right, y'all talking like 3 years. I believe she's 44, to be honest with you. I do believe she's 44. Her 44 and my 44 are very different. All right, let's move on. Okay. So we're introduced to Angel Love. Okay. Is that her real name? Angel Love? Like that's her full government. Angel is watching on YouTube. Our Angel. I know that's your real name. Okay. There's a lot of angels now on reality television. So Quad then brings up her issues with Simone, okay? And one of her issues, and we knew this was going to be an issue, and I think we kind of knew that they were going to make this a part of her storyline. You remember when Dr. Simone went on Sweet Tea's YouTube channel, and she made a comment. Sweet Tea made the first comment. She's like, I'm about to pay off Quad's house. I don't know if you should be proud of that, Sweet Tea, because you paying off someone else's house, not even yours. I don't know if he put her name on it. I don't know. People have wondered that there might be some trouble in paradise between Sweet Tea and Dr. Gregory because they've called off the pregnancy journey. And I know she gave one particular excuse as to why they called it off, but then recently she said something different. So honestly, we don't care, producers. Wishing them the best from afar. Okay. So on her YouTube channel, Sweet Tea said while Dr. Simone, remember we all thought it was messy that Dr. Simone was on her YouTube channel. So she was there. And Sweet Tea said, I'm almost finished paying off Quad's house. And then Dr. Simone made a comment like, no, I can't play Set Me Free. Y'all gotta stop. I can't believe, damn, that's still in the damn thing. I'm taking that out. Okay. So Dr. Simone then said to her, like, is she able to pay off the house she's currently living in? Oh. So that was pretty dark. But apparently Dr. Simone in another scene, because, you know, Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone are still pretending like they're friends. I don't believe it. But they're willing to do what they need to do to stay on this show. And they've just moved on. I don't think they're as close as they used to be at all. So Dr. Jackie goes to meet up with Dr. Simone to catch up, okay? And Simone says she was disappointed in her own behavior in New York City, but playing victim frustrates her. So she was referring to Quad playing victim. Simone said that she was invited to Quad's birthday party last minute. Quad, in her scene at the pool party, explains to the other ladies, you know, wasn't my birthday party lit? It was fantastic. So this was in May, because, you know, she's a Taurus. I know. And Quad says that, in the group text, everyone was wishing her a happy birthday. Simone wished her a happy birthday. And Quad responded with a snarky remark saying, "Can you pay off my house for me for my birthday gift?" I'm paraphrasing. So she was being snarky in regards to that. Look, do I blame Quad for being upset about the comment that Simone made? No, I don't. I don't blame her at all. It was messy. It was a messy comment. Do you realize that Simone, Dr. Simone, is saying the reason why she made that snarky comment was because Quad, and they didn't have a clip, so I don't know where Quad made this comment, but so many of these reality stars, especially in the Bravo space, have been asked on who do you think on your cast should be on traders or make a good trader. So it's a light comment. And I had to read between the lines. I was like, wait, did she call you a traitor in an interview? Or did she say that you'd be a good trader on the show Traders? Not to say that she wasn't being snarky or shady. I'm sure she was. But to say that in an interview, what Quad said in an interview about Simone versus you saying what you said on someone's YouTube channel, girl, Dr. Simone was reaching. Okay? She was definitely reaching with that. And I was like, wait a minute. Because they told one side of the story and then they told a different side of the story in the one episode. And I was like, wait, did she just talk about being on Traders or did she call you a traitor? Some of you will say, well, she was inadvertently calling her a traitor by saying it. Come on. It's a reach. It's definitely a reach. And that is what Simone is doing. She's reaching. We've seen her do it before. So that apparently is why Simone said what she said in Sweet Tea's video. Really? Come on now. Please. Please and thank you. Let me say thank you already because we already have quite a few super chats. Thank you guys so much, guys. Thank you, Scarlett J, for the super chat. Scarlett J says, Sweet Tea and Dr. G were not the best cast members. Their storyline took up a portion of the past 2 seasons. Now they gone and have nothing to talk about. You're right, and especially if they're going to be talking about beef between Quad and Dr. Simone. And they're going to be talking about it for the rest of the season because you saw the preview from the premiere episode. This continues on for the rest of the season. I don't know, y'all. Maybe I don't need to recap the show because I'm like, if this is what we're talking about, the first episode for me, if I had to rate the first episode and live chat, you have an option to rate it, I would probably rate it somewhere between a 4 and a 6. You know what I mean? I didn't think it was a great premiere episode. But okay, that's me. Let me move on. So, okay, I saw so many people because the preview for this came out last week. This scene between Dr. Eugene and Toya. So they moved into this new beautiful home. We get a tour of the home. You know I loved it. I didn't really love the closet, y'all. Did anyone else? Maybe I'm a little bougie. I didn't love the closet with the fake tree in the middle. And I feel like she's had a better closet before. It's not a bad closet, don't get me wrong, come on. However, I'm just like, this closet's not that great. But the house is beautiful. I think the house is beautiful, gorgeous, fine. Okay? The Mellow React says that's a very generous. Is it? Oh, damn. It could be worse, right? Maybe I was blinded by the beautiful home Toya has. Again, speaking of Toya's confessionals, Toya's always been beautiful. But Toya, the bob, and the dress, she looks gorgeous. Especially when you look at some of these ladies in their confessionals, you're like, ooh. Even though for the most part, everyone looked good. Dr. Contessa, I know you watch, girl. Are you still working with my girl Chanel? The Jamaican Chanel, which we talked about in Potomac? If not, why not? Because these confessional looks, and you're a beautiful woman. That's the thing. Dr. Contessa's a beautiful woman, smart woman. I don't like these outfits and these confessionals or even in the scenes. You know I got to ask. I'm going to find out if she's working with... I'm going to find out because girl. No. Look, no. Anyway. Are we Taurusing? Yes, Okimia, we are Taurusing. So back to Toya and Dr. Eugene. So Dr. Eugene apparently... I don't know why he is no longer working in Georgia, but he's got a new job and it's like 2.5 hours away. So he ends up spending like five nights a week away from the family. So Toya is frustrated by this. And so many of you are dragging Toya. Hold on. because everyone's going to say she's going to work Dr. Eugene into a grave. Oh, no, 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 no. If this was the early years where Toya wasn't making that much on the show and didn't have other side hustles, then I could understand. This is actually a choice by Dr. Eugene. It's no longer free Dr. Eugene, because Dr. Eugene could be working at home. Toya makes more money from him, makes more money than him on this show. Remember, she's been on Married to Medicine for years now, and working for Bravo is a good check. At least it used to be. And I'm sure she's at a certain pay scale. She's probably making like $1 million on this show. And they've already revealed that she makes more money than him. Maybe that's why he decided to go get another job so that he could be the bigger breadwinner. But apparently Toya doesn't like the fact that he's that far away. 2.5 hours to go and to come back would be 5 hours. So he's like, it's a far distance. So he doesn't want to be driving, I guess that. So apparently Dr. Eugene, almost like Curtis, got another family. She jokes about it. Like, he could have a whole other family. He's like, I can't keep up with that amount of money between taking care of her and another family. Okibia says, I get away from her too. Dr. Eugene loves him some Toya. I don't feel like they have a marriage where he can't stand her. I don't think that. I really don't. I think he probably doesn't love the fact that she makes more money than he does. But I don't know. I honestly, I don't look at them the same way I did in the early years where he was the breadwinner. She brings in a lot of money. So he doesn't have to necessarily work 2.5 hours away. And he's like, it's not that far. I'm still in Georgia, but you're not home multiple nights a week. You're not living at home multiple nights a week. I don't understand why he couldn't find a job. And I don't understand Atlanta like that, but I don't understand why he couldn't find a job. And didn't he start his own practice too? Weren't they supposed to start doing stuff? Like, whatever happened with that? Did that not do well for him? I don't know, but I don't feel like there's much smoke here, but that's probably their storyline this season, that he's working so far away. But the home is beautiful. It was at 5 bedrooms, 5.5 baths. Then they spent a little bit over $3 million for this property. Okay. She said that you guys thought she was going to be renting the entire time. And she's like, nope, got me a place. Here's the thing. The sons don't feel like there's any difference with the father not being there. They're like, it's not, I don't notice the difference. Okay. Let me see. Josh says, mom's an Aries and from the D like Toya. Dad is an Aries and from Tennessee. 2 Aries together? Whoa. What's yours? Oh, wait, Josh, what's your sign? Are you a Virgo? He loves my mom and she acts like, just like Toya and much like Ashton. I'm the only one to humble the mouthy Aries. You're a Virgo, aren't you, Josh? You're a Virgo. That's the only one I can see that humbles them. And it's interesting because Eugene, he's not an Aries, but he's a fire sign. I forgot what he is. I don't know if he's a Sagittarius. I think he's a Sagittarius, right? He's a fire sign. And I was like, oh, now it makes sense. Magnolia says that the Atlanta area is very saturated, so he can't find work. I don't know. I mean, all the other doctors work nearby, right? Oh, Allie says, leave us Virgos alone. I'm just asking. I didn't say anything bad about Virgos. I just said, if anything, it was a compliment. He's a Leo. I knew he's a fire sign. I didn't think he was a Sagittarius. Josh says, I'm a Virgo. See? It would take a Virgo to humble Aries. Yeah. Here they go in on the Virgos. Just Chillin' says Virgos like to humble everyone but themselves. Allie, it's not me. Allie says too early for Virgo side-eye, Kempire. I'm not side-eyeing anyone. That's everyone else. I was giving you guys a compliment. I said a Virgo would be the only one that'd be able to. To me, it's a compliment. Happy Sagittarius season, Robin. Robin says, be nice to Sagittarius, Kempire. I didn't say anything terrible. All right. Oh, High Vibe says, Virgo rising here. I stand with Virgos. I haven't said anything bad about Virgos. Calm down, everyone. All right. Before we move on, today's live is brought to you by our friends over at Cash App. It's the holiday season, and unfortunately, scams are on the rise. I'm so excited to welcome Cash App as a sponsor of today's live, and I've been using Cash App more recently than ever before. And I haven't realized the amount of new things that they've added to the app to secure my safety and your safety. Now more than ever, with the holiday and all these different scams that are out there, you want to make sure when sending money to your friends, family, or someone you owe money, easily and safely. Scammers know the holidays are busy for everyone, which can make us all targets for scams. That's why Cash App builds in protection to help keep your money safe while you're checking off your shopping list. If you're about to send money to someone for a deal that's too good to be true and Cash App flags it as a potential scam, they'll warn you before you send the money. Cash App also gives you an extra layer of protection with features like security lock. You can require a PIN, Face ID, or fingerprint to unlock your account and move money, so even if someone gets a hold of your unlocked phone at a holiday party, your money is right where you left it. Give yourself some peace of mind this holiday season and download Cash App. I've literally have utilized the Cash App feature recently a lot and noticed the new protections that they've added to the app. So, of course, we've gotten you covered in regards to an exclusive code. For a limited time only, new Cash App customers can use our exclusive code to earn additional cash. For real. Just download Cash App, use our exclusive referral code, SECURE10, in your profile, send $5 to a friend within 14 days, and you'll get $10 dropped right into your account. We all love free money, don't we? Terms apply. That's money. That's Cash App. Cash App is a financial services platform, not a bank. Banking services are provided by Cash App's bank partners, prepaid debit cards issued by Sutton Bank, member FDIC, promotions provided by Cash App, a Block Incorporated brand, and visit cash.app/legal/podcast for full disclosures. More information on Cash App and your code will be available in the description. And we're back. All right. Look, let me just say, some of y'all are hilarious in the chat. First of all, Miss Mela Magic says, scamming on the rise. Pam Oliver said, how I get in it. Y'all are ridiculous. Oh my gosh. Of course, Miss Espo's rise and Lipton's fall. Lord have mercy. OMG. Yeah, some of you are not going to get our inside jokes here in the community, but welcome to the community. Keith says, hold up. My man's a Leo and I'm a Virgo. Oof. Because here's the thing. I think a lot of people say Leos are very boisterous and, self-centered. It's actually, that is to mask their insecurity, and a Virgo is very critical. So be very mindful, Keith, on how you talk to your man, because I can see you really, because Virgos can be very upfront with their opinions, and Leos can be very sensitive. And I'm giving y'all advice. Lonnie says, this is exactly what I was saying, Lonnie. Thank you for being a member, Lonnie. Lonnie says, that's interesting. Dr. Eugene had to go outside of Atlanta. What happened to his private practice or something that he was doing independently? He said it was more money, though. That's what I wonder. I mean, maybe we'll see in the rest of the season what happened in regards to that business. And I thought Toya was helping him with that business. But again, people start businesses all the time and they fail. I don't know if it's a failure, but if you guys are in Atlanta, is that business still around? Is it still happening? What's going on? Oh, well, look, all right. Kendra, thank you so much for the super chat and another super chat, Kendra, and for being a member. Kendra says, I am a Taurus with a Gemini rising and a Virgo moon. I can attest that the Virgo portion will humble people. And it's not shade, Virgos. I think it's just, honest. And you're very honest, okay? Okay. All right, let's get back to this so I can get out of here. Don't forget, guys, I will be live with our friends over at Butta on their website. The link for today's live will be available in the description. So if you want access to the giveaways and the discounts, you have to be on the website. We'll still be streaming here on YouTube as well, but you'll have to be on their website. The link is available in the description. We're live at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. PST. All right. So I won't be here long, and we'll take a few callers, but I need to rest my voice from all this talking today. All right. Let me move on. Oh, the Virgos are in the building. We got a lot of Virgos on the channel. Just saying. Be careful, guys. They're going to humble you. All right. So Eugene is working out of town, apparently. At least not out of state, but far from home. Okay. But her sons don't see an issue with it. Toya says she feels like a military wife. She feels like a military wife. I think she's dragging it. I don't think she really cares, but we shall see. I'm assuming this is going to be their storyline for the season. Fine.
'Tis the season for identity theft. This time of year, most of us are checking off our holiday gift lists. But guess what? Identity thieves have lists too, and your personal information might be on them. Protect your identity with LifeLock. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second and alerts you to threats you could miss by yourself, even if you keep an eye on your bank and credit card statements. If your identity is stolen, your own US-based restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. And all plans are backed by the $1 Million Protection Package. The last thing you want to do this holiday season is face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or other financial losses from identity theft all alone. Make this season about joy, not identity theft, with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Call 1-800-LifeLock and use promo code IHEART. Or go to lifelock.com/iHeart for 40% off. Terms apply.
I've got Dan Morgan here on the pod. Say hi, Dan.
Hey, how's it going today?
It's going good, man. Tell us who you are and what you do.
I'm Dan Morgan. I'm an attorney and a managing partner at Morgan & Morgan, which is America's largest injury law firm.
That's pretty awesome. I think I saw a billboard of yours recently that said 20 billion won. 20 billion is an insane number.
Yeah, 20 billion recovered. It's actually, I think, somewhere north, probably closer to 22, 23 after this year. And each year we get bigger and badder and our army grows. So the number will hopefully keep getting bigger and bigger as time goes on.
Awesome. So how does someone get in contact with Morgan & Morgan? What would I do if I got into an accident?
Probably the easiest way is dialing pound law. That's pound 529 from your cell phone. We are always open. Our call center is always waiting to take your call. 24/7, 365.
Wow. Dan Morgan from Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Thanks for coming by the show.
Thanks for having me.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Okay. Only 10 more presents to wrap. You're almost at the finish line. But first... There, the last one. Enjoy a Coca-Cola for a pause that refreshes.
Contessa, speaking of businesses, Contessa, as you know, Contessa and Dr. Contessa and Dr. Scott, they have a business together, and they had bought a building, and they're talking about their building was supposed to be done, renovated, but now they're behind 4 months on their initial date. So she's working a lot. He's working a lot, apparently, but not as much as she's working, apparently. Here's the thing with Dr. Contessa and Dr. Scott. I don't know what direction we're going to go in to this season when it comes to their relationship, because remember, before she was fired from the show, there was some dark stuff going on between her and Dr. Scott. And I felt like when she returned last season that she was overcorrecting. I wasn't surprised that she came back full-time this season, because you saw at the reunion, she was out there from the very beginning of the reunion until the end. And I was like, oh, watch, this is a soft launch of her returning. And I like Dr. Contessa, but at the same time, I'm not going to be here for the fakery or the overcorrection. We see what Kiarna is doing on Real Housewives of Potomac. We've seen other reality stars do this. I much rather them be honest about what's going on in their relationship. If there are challenges or that they are in in some sort of counseling, and that's how they've worked on their relationship. I don't know if I'm 100% believing what we're getting. Okay. But it's fine. That's fine. So that's basically what we get from the scene, is that they put a lot of their money. They paid all cash for this building. The building was supposed to be done 4 months ago. And it wasn't. So, but I mean, if you've ever built anything or you've had contractors, you know, sometimes you go in with a plan of finishing at a certain time, and 9 times out of 10, you're not, and you're over budget. So I wonder what they're going to put in this building. Is it going to be like a whole, like the entire building is going to be like medical? I wonder. Okay. Oh, see, Miss Esquire says, I am not here for abuser rehabilitation. Here's the thing. I'm here for rehabilitation, but I'm not here if it's fake. You know what I mean? Because look, I am here for people rehabilitating, going for counseling and things like that. But if it's fake and you're just doing it to rehab your persona, then no, I'm not here for that, because it's not real. And that's what it feels like when it comes to Dr. Contessa and Dr. Scott. Ms. Esquire says, building in this economy with these tariffs, which is probably also part of the reason why things are delayed. But who knows? Oh, Alexandra says, a hard truth. The show needs Dr. Heavenly to be interesting. I believe this episode would have been interesting if Dr. Heavenly was there, but that's only because the same people are there. I think if we did not a hard reboot, but a soft reboot with new people and new drama, it would have been maybe not as interesting, and people would have been like, oh, I don't know about this, because it takes some time to warm up to people. But the same drama? No. But I could see Dr. Heavenly being in the mix, and it would have been probably more interesting. Toxic or not toxic, she can be funny sometimes, and she could be dramatic sometimes, and a lot of times she gets the party started with these women. But do you believe the reason why that Dr. Heavenly's not there is because she's going for, she's running for Congress. Now she's running for Congress. She was running for state representative at the time of filming. Do you believe that? Because here's the thing. I've told you, I don't know if I 100% believe it. Especially from this episode, it makes me more believe that she was trying to avoid talking about her son being in the news. And not, she tells us, it took Bravo a long time to figure out her contract because they never had someone run for politics. I don't know if I believe that. I really don't, especially with the way it's playing out on the show. I know, an edited show, but still, the way it's playing out on the show, I'm like, I don't know about this. JD says she never apologized for her comments. Didn't she? Which ones? Wait, which ones? Because there's a lot of comments. Are you talking about when how she talked about gay men? She did. I don't want to say she apologized, but she definitely addressed it. I think was an apology. Bookie Bear says, I do not miss Heavenly. I know there are a lot of people do not want to see Heavenly back on the show. I will say this, though, about Heavenly. I've turned a corner. Oh, I know. I've turned a corner, not to her being on the show, but when it comes to her being in politics. Based off of when she announced versus to the interviews she's done now, I have to say, she's done her homework. She's definitely come along, like, to the point where I'm like, wait a minute, you're taking this seriously. And remember, Quad is her campaign manager. I saw some of the interviews they did during BravoCon, and I was like, Quad might be a good campaign manager. I'm just saying. I was impressed. I wonder why she went from she's given the response as to why she feels like she can do more by running for Congress and not state representative. But part of me, because remember, Atlanta, when I came to Atlanta and I did our live show and I asked Atlanta about the office she was running for, at the time it was state representative, the person she was running against, a woman, she apparently people were happy with that state representative. So it makes me wonder if Dr. Heavenly decided not to run against her knowing that she would lose. And now wants to run against this guy that probably she could win against because he's like 80 something years old or something like that. So I don't know. I know she's given her reasons why she wants to run for Congress versus state representative. Based off of this episode, it seems like she was trying to avoid the group. Okay? Mr. Esquire says. Mr. Esquire says, Kempire, your navigation failed you. Come back from around that corner. I mean, look, I'm not in the area to vote for her, because if I was, I would do more homework. But based off of the interviews that she's done, I was like, wait a minute. Okay, let's see. But also who she's running against. Now I'd want to ask those of you that live in her district, the guy that's currently in office for you, how do you feel about him versus her? Ali says, doesn't Congress pay better? Yes, of course they do. It's about her money. Unique says, I hope she wins. Okay. The V-Life says, Quad has a lot of practice with those MLK monologues. Honestly, I really think Quad is actually a good campaign manager. I was surprised. No, Keith. It wasn't her BravoCon panel. It was her interviews that she was doing. Keith says her speech on the BravoCon panel got you. No, it wasn't that. Here's the thing: she has an uphill battle, because all her competition has to do is go to her YouTube channel and take everything from there and use it against her. Do you really want this as your congresswoman? And then they play all the problematic things that she said on Bravo, everything she said on her YouTube channel. There's a lot going up against her. But Okemia says that Trump trashes reporters daily. Why not? Well, I don't like when people use Trump as the excuse, because we're not trying to normalize that. You know what I mean? JD says, excuse me. JD says, I don't believe what she gave as an explanation or apology. She is platforming homophobia by Black women and the Black community. She's running on identity politics because she can pull an audience. Okay. JD, do you live in her district? Just asking, because I want to know how people feel about the other candidate. Well, first of all, doesn't she have to do a primary? Who else is running in the primary? Oh, damn. Mr. Bella Magic says they might use your recaps, Kemp, to go against her. Can you imagine? I'll sue them. Don't be using my likeness in your political ads. I will sue you. Amit says, I mean, look at your president. You mean your president? Oh, wait, you probably don't live here, right, Amit? Jamita says, and her cackling as she does. Honestly, I could see. Don't let me do the promo ad for the other side, because I could clip a thing together and then put the little laughing that she does in between, like that. You're like in between. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to do it, but that would be funny. Right. All right, let me move on. All right, so we had that moment with Contessa at home with her family and with Dr. Scott. So Quad, because Mimi is throwing this sort of Polo classic party. Okay, Mimi is. Dr. Mimi's still a part of the cast. How are you guys feeling about Dr. Mimi? I think it's too soon. I liked what she said during this episode when they were trying to make it seem like she was team someone, and she's like, I'm team me at the end of the day. And I was like, yes, girl. I'm here for it. All right. Kelso, do not even compare Jasmine Crockett to a Dr. Heavenly. Have you guys heard of Jasmine Crockett? She's beautiful, intelligent, and professional, but she also has a mouth. Those traits are similar to Dr. Heavenly. Yeah, but Jasmine Crockett hasn't said problematic things. So that's one thing that yes, Jasmine Crockett doesn't hold back. But when she's going in, it's with facts. It's not her opinion. She's not coming out with problematic verbiage. So that's the difference, okay? But all right. Kelso says that she's real, right? Archie said that the party was aight. Yeah, party was okay. Very much like what Dr. Contessa said. Where were the horses? I realized, like, okay, what are we doing? Elise says, not you yawning for the boredom of this episode. No, I've been up since early. Okay, I've been up since early. Unique says, I like Dr. Mimi, but her husband, not so much. What don't you like about her husband, Steve? Is it the Louis Vuitton? T says, I wouldn't vote for Dr. Heavenly if I was in her district. I would need to do more research before voting for her if I lived in that district. Exactly. Miss Parker says, no, Heavenly is no Jasmine Crockett. Exactly. Dark and Lovely says, Jasmine Crockett holds this administration to the fire. She's a firecracker with facts. That's why I was like, don't even compare the two. Okay? All right. I know people are going to be talking about that during the replay. Replay crew, be sure to let us know where you're watching from, how you would rate this week's episode, and your thoughts on the episode as well. Did you find the first 30 minutes as boring as I did? Maybe. Let me see how you guys are voting when it comes to this. Oh, look at me now. Sorry. All right. How would you rate this week's episode of Married to Medicine? 45% of you are rating it between 7 and 10. 43%, though, are rating it between 4 and 6. 1 to 3 are 11% of you are rating it between 1 and 3. I mean, that's pretty close. I don't, if I had to rate it, I definitely would give it somewhere in the 4 and 6, me personally. Keep voting, though, y'all. As I yawn. Oh, I got another one in me. Wow. Look, it's the premiere episode. I'm going to give a little grace. The preview looked decent enough for what's to come. But again, it's a focus on Dr. Simone and Quad. All right. So Quad FaceTimes with Mimi about this party that she's having. Mimi says she invited the group to the party and that her and Quad have been hanging out a lot more. She then refers to herself, there's a different Mimi, when she's not working. There's a Mimi after dark. Okay. So they've been hanging out a lot more. And then Mimi asked Quad if she's spoken to Dr. Simone. And she's like, no, I haven't. I really don't care. I really don't care. Chocolate Soul, thank you so much for celebrating 32 months of being a member here on the channel. Chocolate Soul says, I haven't watched. I came to find out if I should. Okay. Oh, okay says we don't need any more reality stars turned politicians. Look. Damn. High Five says, Kempire, did you eat a Thanksgiving turkey sandwich? Is it kicking in? No, I wish I had some more turkey to I ate up all my turkey. Ain't no more turkey left. So I might have to cook something. And then I'm going to make that baked barbecue jerk chicken. With some rice and beans. Takesha says they can scrap this season. Angel is messy and lackluster. Same on Love and Hip Hop. Well, she was on Basketball Wives. Oh, and why are you saying she's messy? Why did you say she's messy? All right. So, okay. Oh my God. What is happening? I can't help it now. All right. What else happened in this episode? So, then Mimi goes to do a walkthrough to prepare for her Polo Classic. So we get to kind of see what the setup is going to be. Not a horse in sight besides the fake one. Okay. So apparently she gives us an update on what's going on with her practice. We see a moment with her and her kids. And apparently after Mimi After Dark, her husband refers to it as sort of like Sophisto Ratchet. Okay. Aisha says, now I'm yawning too. Sorry. Miss Esquire says, you are bored. Probably. So I won't be here long, okay? I've already been talking for like 40-something minutes. So let me get through this. I will drop the call. Let me drop the call link now before we get to the Polo Classic because we got a couple of things to talk about there, especially when talking about Toya and Dr. Jackie. All right, so let me drop the call link first. And if you missed it, guys, we did have breaking news about Candy and Todd. Apparently, Todd is seeking to have the prenup thrown out, and he wants primary custody. Live chat, once we get to a certain amount of likes, I'll drop the call link for you guys as well. How many people are in the building? Yeah, let's get to 300 likes, and I'll drop the call link for the general audience as well. Jermaine says, it's got to be a reason yawning is contagious. Yeah. Oh, Cameron says, if y'all can stomach RHOP, you can make it through this first episode. Wow. Takesha says, so unforgettable. Wait, see, so unforgettable. I couldn't remember where I saw her. You mean so forgettable? Oh, damn. Well, I mean, I don't remember on Basketball Wives, but the people told me. I was like, oh, she was? She's pretty, though. Look. Pretty privilege. Ooh, Monette says, this premiere wasn't as boring. Look, hold on. Sorry. Monette says, this premiere wasn't as boring as the last season of Atlanta. Y'all are crazy. I don't know if it was as boring, but this first episode was kind of It was like, for me. But that's me, but this is my review, so it doesn't matter what I think. Right? All right. I feel like I don't want to yawn again. Sorry. Oh, Lord. Elise says, RHB's had a great season so far. It hasn't been a bad season. I wouldn't say that. Angel was on Basketball Wives. Miss Esquire says, Married to Medicine is so boring. We are talking about another show. Oh my gosh. Reddy says, Kep, your chat rocks on 100. I know, they do. Don't you love it? I love it. All right, let me get back to my notes so I can get through this so I can stop yawning. Okay. So Mimi does that. We get to see a little bit of what we can expect from the Polo Classic. All right. So Toya goes over to Dr. Simone's house to get ready for this Polo Classic situation. Okay. Simone is building out a deck. Fantastic. Virgo Leo Cap says, Kempire, you must have woke up early today. I hope you get some rest tonight. Me too. Lord. I wasn't yawning this much during the RHOP recap, though. Maybe the evening's hitting me, though. It's 4 o'clock here in New York. But don't forget, at 6 p.m. Eastern, I'll be live with our friends over at Butter. Hopefully I won't be yawning that much then. Yeah, MB says, y'all sure did rate it high. I have a 4 to 6. Yeah. So Simone says to Toya that she's been kicking it with Quad. See, this is why I don't necessarily believe that these women are friends. Because she's like, you haven't been over in like 8 months. Oh, since the last time y'all were filming? That's what Simone said to Toya. And you must be hanging out with your new best friend, Quad. Mind you, this is a grown woman saying this. So Toya brings up to Simone that, brings up what Simone said on Sweet Tea's YouTube channel. And she's like, I mean, can you blame her for feeling the way that she feels when you say something like that? So Cecil brings up what Toya said on Watch What Happens Live about Curtis being handsy. And then, they flash back to when Curtis pulled Toya into his lap. I didn't remember that Dr. Jackie blamed Toya. I almost forgot about that. Remember that? And it seems like she's still blaming Toya. So Toya mentioned it on the show. I mean, you can't blame her for bringing it up on Watch What Happens Live because they were talking about the picture where you see Curtis being handsy with Dr. Heavenly. So she made that snarky comment on Watch What Happens Live, and apparently, instead of speaking with Toya directly, Dr. Jackie brought it up in the group text with the Fab Five. So I guess maybe they have a separate text with the Fab Five and then everybody else. So she brought up in a group text, Dr. Jackie. Dr. Jackie, do y'all think it's that deep? You know what I mean? I don't think it's that deep. It's not like it didn't happen. We saw it happen. So I don't understand why you would bring it up to a group text. Because apparently Toya felt like Dr. Jackie wanted the other ladies to come down hard on her. So Toya says that then Toya brings up the fact that social media has been reacting to Heavenly's son being arrested. She's like, it's all over social media. Okay. So about Damon Jr. being arrested and then trying to run over the cop. They didn't bring all that part up. Okay. And then Dr. Simone says, this is a serious issue with, our young people getting involved with the cops and, police brutality and things like that. So Toya was the one. This is where my ears perked up in the episode because I was like, "Uh-oh." So they're bringing this up, and we didn't see Heavenly at all. So I don't know when we're going. I guess maybe we'll see Heavenly next week. I don't know when we're going to start to see Heavenly, but I'm not surprised that we didn't see her because Heavenly said that they were working on her contract for several weeks before she started filming. Okay, but based off the trailer, it made it seem like Heavenly is very heavily involved this season. All right. Ocean's Dreaming says, no, Curtis pulled Toya. I mean, when they flash back, we see Curtis literally pull Toya into his lap. Exactly. Elle says, how is Curtis's actions Toya's fault? Yeah. So Dr. Jackie apparently made her feel a way in the text messages like, oh, you know, how would you feel if I had said this about Eugene on Watch What Happens Live? Well, Eugene never gave you any ammo for to say anything. So I don't think Toya would feel any kind of way. Like, okay, you brought it up, but this is what he actually did. It's not like he didn't do it. Mr. Melon Magic says next week they get into it. We shall see. Kelso says we all saw Curtis pull Toya down, but she sat there and she enjoyed it. I'm playing. Hey, French Light. French Light says, hey, Kempire and fam, just completed a paper for my MSN class, and here I am watching a live with you. Happy what, TG? What's TG? Thank you so much, French Life. We appreciate you being here. Ms. Squire says, Dr. Jackie is a problem on so many levels. Yeah, like when she called out Brandy and her thyroid. Y'all saw that in this episode? What is wrong with Dr. Jackie? Let's just jump into that. Because even watching it back, I said, why did she have to point that out? It was giving, maybe something wrong with Dr. Jackie. Look, because it was giving Buffy. You know what she said about Buffy? I was like, why would you, first of all, if you really had a concern about someone's thyroid, wouldn't you pull them to the side in like a one-on-one conversation? Like, is everything all okay with your thyroid? And so Brandy was just like, everything's fine. I'm like, it was definitely uncalled for. It was definitely uncalled for. And I was taken aback. I had clutched my imaginary pearls. Because this is the same person that's scolding Toya for what she said on Watch What Happens Live. And she's always, prim and proper, but she's always doing these things. Especially as a doctor, because you would think a doctor would be more mindful about calling out a medical situation to someone in front of a group. You know what I mean? A doctor would be a little bit more mindful of that. But apparently not Dr. Jackie. Is that Crystal Brown says that Jackie's constantly inappropriate. I don't get it. And I know people will make excuses like, oh, she's an older doctor. You know how some of these older doctors are. Yeah, but she's an active doctor in 2025. And she's on a reality show, so she's also not new to reality television. Just says that Dr. Jackie's slip is raggedy as hell. All right, I fast forwarded. So everyone's arriving at the Polo Classic. What did you guys think of the Polo Classic? It was all right. I really did. When Dr. Contessa brought up there was no horses, I was like, oh yeah, where the horses at? This is a Polo Classic. And y'all in Georgia, y'all can find a horse. So apparently they had a fake horse. They point out that Steve is always wearing Louis Vuitton. And then he flashbacks all the times that he's wearing Louis Vuitton. Okay. Contessa says that the fight between Quad and Simone is like Groundhog's Day. A Groundhog's Day which we don't appreciate and don't care for. Right? So this is where we're introduced to Brandy, who owns multiple medical spas. So I'm assuming she's probably like a nurse practitioner, probably. Maybe. Or maybe she hires nurse. No, but I think she does treatments as well. So she's probably like a nurse practitioner. Or a physician's assistant, maybe? I don't know. So Brandy apparently owns multiple businesses, multiple medical practices. We also see her husband's there as well. So Heavenly doesn't attend the event. And apparently she's prepping for run for office. However, Dr. Jackie said that it's none of their business in regards to what's going on with her son. But Dr. Jackie is not even convincing enough to say that the reason why Dr. Heavenly is not there is because she's running for office. She's preparing to run for office, so that's why she's not there. I mean, I don't know what else they would have said if her contract wasn't signed, sealed, and delivered. But apparently that's the excuse as to why Dr. Heavenly is not there. All right. So Toya says, ain't nobody's going to vote for her, not even into the PTA. I'm not going to say I disagree 100% with Toya, okay, when it comes to this. Toya says she doesn't believe Jackie for the reasons why Heavenly isn't there. Jackie asks if Eugene, because they lead into another conversation about what Toya said on Watch What Happens Live, and Jackie asks if Eugene would have been mad if she made the comment that Toya made. Jackie says it doesn't paint Curtis in the best light. No, she says it doesn't paint Curtis in the best light of who he is. Toya chimes in, today, it doesn't paint him in the best light of who he is today. And she's like, today, what, maybe, whatever. And I'm just like, doesn't paint him in the best light. Dr. Jackie, we've seen him pull Toya into the lap. We've seen the picture of him holding on to Dr. Heavenly. And then he was caught going to Hilton Head to get some head. Paint him in the best light. And then every season, it feels like he's never around. And he's in the DR, allegedly with another family. Okay, no, he's building properties in the DR. And yet we have another season where the group trip is not in the DR. But y'all went to Jamaica. Y'all were real close. Why did y'all go to Jamaica? Why did y'all go to the DR? Just asking. All right, fine. So that's when she makes a comment. Maybe she wanted to redirect. She then makes the comment in regards to Brandy. She's like, is that your thyroid enlarged? Excuse me? Are you? Am I okay? And I'm trying to wonder. I'm looking at Brandy's neck too. I'm just sort of like, what are you seeing that we're not seeing? But again, she is a doctor. But it's again, why are you pointing this out in front of the group if you really were concerned? Keith says this man is playing the guitar while I'm trying to watch you, Kempire. Just rude. You mean your man, or are you out in the streets? Tell him to turn that off. Exactly, Kelso says double entendre. Hilton Head to get some head. Okay. Thanksgiving. Thank you, French Life. French Life says, sorry, Kempire. I should have been more clear. I was saying happy Thanksgiving means happy TG means happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. Thank you. Thank you so much, French Life. And congrats on finishing your assignment. Love it. Not Dr. Hansy. He's not a doctor, though. I don't know what he is anymore. Does it in real estate, right? Kelsey, and then Dr. Jackie says that she can't stop looking at it. Oh, yeah, she did say that. Is that her way of talking about someone's weight now? All right, let me move on. Because I really have nothing more to say. This episode was mostly about Dr. Simone and Quad, because that's something that that's talked about at this event as well. And this is the first time that Quad and Dr. Simone meet up. All right. So Toya tries to mend fences between Quad and Simone. Simone says that they can't necessarily go back to where they were as friends. Okay. Simone brings up being invited to Quad's birthday party 2 hours before. She's like, guys, if you were invited to a party 2 hours before, would you go? I might go if it wasn't that deep, but I'm sure with a Quad party, you got to get dressed up. So I understand why you wouldn't go. Quad then brings up that what Simone said about her finances. Okay. About what she said on Sweet Tea's YouTube channel. So Simone then brings up what Quad said about her being a traitor. No, let's clarify this. I'm sure, because they don't have video footage of this, at least they didn't share it. Quad was probably asked, who on your cast would be a perfect traitor for the reality series Traitor. And yes, could she be trying to be shady with it? Yes, but it's not that deep. It's not deep enough for you to go on Quad's ex's wife's YouTube channel and take a dig about her finances. I don't think it's that deep. So Simone brings up what Quad said. So Cecil and King are over watching this all play out, and they both agree that they're over the arguing about the same stuff, and they're tired of hearing it. And so are we as the audience. Okay? Ebony, do not tempt me, Ebony. Ebony says, Kev, you should find a tiny megaphone for when you recap with Simone. You're right. That would be perfect. Stay tuned. Okay? Y'all giving me all these little props ideas, okay? All right. So then Simone gets emotional because this is the end of the episode. She gets emotional. She starts breaking up in her speech, and she's really like, I stayed in bed 2 days after the reunion and what played out in the reunion. And Simone says, I think we both need some time and space. And then they flash to what we can expect for the season. And what we see is more fighting between Quad and Simone. And it's about the finances. It's about it's the same thing over and over again. I just can't imagine that this entire season, that's what we're going to be talking about. Because we could care less. All right. Rennie says, Kemp, your chat is on fire. However, we all do not live in Atlanta. Just saying. Okay. Did I say that you guys did? All right. Let me say thank you. We had quite a few super chats. Thank you guys for the super chats. Let me shimmy for the super chats. All right. All right. Paula says, I am a Leo. My boyfriend is an Aries and our son is a Sagittarius. Send help. OMG. Well, the Leo and the Aries are fine. It's the Sagittarius terrorist that's going to... That's a lot of fire in one house. Oh, I'm never visiting. Tish, thank you so much for the super chat. I am so tired of Quad versus Dr. Simone. At this point, I want them to fake it for the cameras. Like Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone? Mm-hmm. Pretend to be friends for the check and leave us alone. Miss Nubian, thank you for the super chat. I don't remember her from Basketball Wives either. Okay, so I wasn't the only one? And I'm like a Basketball Wives like early watcher. So I would have to go back and watch. Beautiful, though, Angel, in regards to Angel. Thank you, Kendra, for the super chat. Kendra says, Married to Medicine and RHP prove one fact. Salt Lake City is greater than Potomac and Married to Medicine. Crystal, thank you so much for the super sticker. We appreciate your support. Thank you. It was the mic drop. Keith, thank you so much for the super chat. Keith says, everyone in Atlanta goes to Dr. Jackie and Dr. Heavenly, but I never hear anyone say they went to Dr. Simone as a patient. I wonder why. We've talked about this. I think we even had people call in that have gone to Dr. Simone. So, yes, maybe she sees more regular people and Dr. Jackie sees more celebrities. Okay? Ms. Parker, thank you so much for the super chat. Ms. Parker says, I recall in the Curtis versus Toya lap scene, Toya kept saying he didn't pass the test, Jackie. Oh. Kendra, thank you for another super chat. Kendra says, Dr. Jackie is 67. She's not old enough to blurt out stuff. Ma'am, you need to be 80 and up to do that. Oh, my gosh. Tish, thank you so much for another super chat. Tish says, a black woman doctor at that. She knows firsthand what we experienced, and she does it to us. And that literally is what she was called out for, but they completely ignored. Rennie, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, Kemp, you rock. Thank you. Look, thank you. All right. If you remember the channel, I've already dropped the call-in link. Let me see if we have anyone that even wants to talk about this. Oh, we still got people that want to talk about it. We're almost at 300 likes. So I'm going to drop the call link for you guys because I cannot be here long because I do have at 6 p.m. Eastern, I'll be live with our friends over at Butter. Their link for the live chat and the thingamajig, whatchamacallit, for you guys to get the deals will be available in the description. Okay, so be sure to check that out. At 6 p.m. Eastern, we will be live with Butter. We'll be talking about all the skincare stuff. We'll be doing, it's Cyber Monday. So don't forget, even our merch, look. Are you okay? Merch, all of that stuff. Members, you still have your special discount. Don't forget your special discount, members. And, of course, for everyone else, Cyber Monday is your code. The link is available in the description as well. Go get your 15% off of all of our merchandise, our sweatshirts. This is the time. If you've been waiting to get something, today is the day. This will be your last opportunity, okay? Thank you, Crystal. Crystal says, I'm following you over there. Thank you. Okay, let me get to these calls. Keep in mind the opinions of the calls do not represent the opinions of myself, the Kempire LLC, or our sponsors. All right, everything that they say is alleged and of their opinion. Let me drop the call link for the general audience as well. Members, I'm going to bring Tyler's backstage. Tyler, you're first. What did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey.
So I will say this. Married to Medicine, unfortunately, has run its course. And to be honest, if they wanted to revamp things, I know a lot of people don't like Quad, but I think there's still some story there. I do like Toya being the foe. Honestly, the two doctors need to leave. It's time for more youthful, like, I would love to see younger, no offense, to those ladies' age, but I think Simone and Jackie, they're just not exciting anymore. I would like to see younger Black professional ladies, doctors or whatever, and see them in their marriage and see them kind of in the fold or whatever like that. But if they're not going to do that, leave it alone. And maybe Quad could go over to Housewives of Atlanta and be a friend and work her way up. Because I could see her being with Portia and Shamia and all them. And she naturally, those are her real friends anyway.
That's true.
Other than that, right. Other than that, this needs to be the last season. And Jackie would never shade me. I swear for life. I would tell her, girl, you look like Tales from the Crypt. Eat. But other than that, thank you.
Bye, Tyler. Damn. I will say this. I had the thought that during Dr. Jackie's confession, I was like, she looks good. She's 60-something years old. I have to say she looks good. All right. I'm going to bring up Miss Esquire next, the queen of the Virgos.
Hi, how are you?
I can't hear you.
You cannot hear me?
Oh, wait, let me put my headphones on. That's why.
Oh my goodness. I'm like, you can't hear me?
Hold on. Put my headphones on. All right. Because sometimes like everyone's volume is different. Tyler just happens to have a turned up volume. Now speak.
Can you hear me?
Oh, perfect.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, the horse show with no horses, how dreadful. I'm going to go with the light shade first, and I'm going to quickly get over to Dr. Jackie. I am really tired of the Simone versus Quad. I just would rather them just admit that they don't see it for each other. They've never seen it for each other. Simone has always been elitist when it comes to Quad. And there's no amount of accomplishment or accoutrement that Quad can earn or have that will make Simone see her as an equal. They just need to squash the beef and just like stay out of each other's orbit as much as possible. When it came to Toya talking about Heavenly's child, I would have typically said, hey, we don't talk about people's children like that. We don't really need to do that. But since Heavenly talks about everybody's everything,
Yes.
I don't feel like the rules apply. And that's where I was with it. I was like, normally I would not like to see somebody bringing somebody's child into the shade, but I don't think that rule applies to Heavenly. I don't think it can, given how crazy she is. Dr. Jackie. Dr. Jackie is putrid. Dr. Jackie is rancid. That woman is a stain on this show. She is a stain on this network. This lady, since I have watched this show, has fat shamed one of her coworkers constantly, basically put Dr. Heavenly on whatever table she got onto from the fat shaming that she put her through. She has weaponized another cast member's infertility against her. She has suggested that Black women make up or exaggerate their symptoms to get out of work. And I personally hold her responsible for Kamala Harris not getting elected because of Kamala Harris's association with Dr. Jackie. If Dr. Jackie has no haters, y'all need to come put some flowers on my grave because I'm 6 feet under. I cannot stand that lady. As someone who works in healthcare, I cannot stand that lady. This comment was beyond the pale. Absolutely beyond the pale. I don't care how she's going to twerk on a fence to try to justify it as a legitimate healthcare concern. That lady is a nurse practitioner. You already see her as lesser than you because that's how, unfortunately, too many doctors see APs. You definitely don't like to see an AP like that being so successful. And she doesn't subscribe to the body dysmorphia that you obviously have. Like, I don't see it for Dr. Jackie. I want her gone off my television screen. I don't know how these women let her get away with this. She is uncouth. I cannot say enough bad things about Dr. Jackie. Like I cannot express how much I dislike that lady, and I do not want to see her on my screen. And the only thing that gives me any comfort is that she does not take public insurance anymore. She takes private pay, and so her elitist clients can see her, who I'm sure she caters to, because she'll be on other people's shows like DeBrad and Judy, and treating them so kindly. I doubt her regular patients ever experience that from her. That lady is like literally putrid. I cannot express how inappropriate that was. And I appreciate that Brandy tried to laugh it off, but that's not appropriate. Maybe I take this really personally because I had a sister who had hypothyroidism, my sister who passed away as a result of her burn injuries, and she would have flare-ups sometimes. And people would speak on it to the point where my sister, who had 40% burns over her body and couldn't regulate her body temperature, would...
Oh, we lost you, Miss Esquire.
Hello?
There you go.
What's somebody? My sister would wear turtlenecks and high neck collar shirts just to hide her bulge so that people would not speak on it, even though she couldn't regulate her body temperature. It's so deeply disrespectful. I want her gone. Like, I want to see her castmates hold her responsible, particularly the physicians. That was not appropriate. Sorry, that is my soapbox. I'm so sorry to be on it for so long.
No, it's okay.
That's it.
Thank you. That was a read.
Bye.
Thanks, Miss Esquire. I think the reason why she continues to stay and do some of these things, and we've talked about this before with other reality stars, is because it's never been checked. We talked about it at those reunions where we thought they were going to hold her accountable, and they breezed right over it. All right. Let me bring up Wendy next. Wendy, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire, how are you doing?
How are you?
Well, Miss Esquire done said everything I wanted to say. However,
you can whack her again, as Brooke would say.
I'm like, oh my gosh. But yeah, I'm sick of Jackie, and then the issue of saying that Toya sat on his lap and he did not pull her into the lap. I was like, woman, you are trying, and you just know, and you got a husband who got touchy hands because the producers, they're very messy, but I love it because they were showing those clips. And Quad, okay. I'm tired of Quad sometimes playing the victim, because like Simone says, if you gonna dish it, you gonna take it. And if what Simone said is correct, she started it first and she just retaliated. So I'm not mad at Simone, but I don't know. I'm on the fence on how I'm going to watch this season, because I stopped watching this last season mid-season. I was like, I can't deal with it. But honestly, I did not miss Heavenly at all. I did not miss that annoying voice of hers and everything. So let me get back to my clients. I love ya.
Thanks, Wendy. Bye. All right, let's bring up Coco Esquire. Coco Esquire, I have a question for you.
Oh, hey, Camp. You've been looking good, by the way.
Thank you. A question for you. Did you see the video that I just posted about Candy and her divorce from Todd?
I saw when you broke the news on the last video.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yes.
What are your thoughts, quickly, if you can, not quickly, but what are your thoughts on him seeking primary physical custody, but joint legal custody?
As he should.
Okay.
And I am typically not me saying that is just based on the reality of life. When you think about the standard for child custody is best interest of the child. And even Ray Charles can see that Candy is always on the move. And so the option is, and this probably happens, I don't know, because it ain't my life. Some people may take their kids on the road with them. Perhaps they're homeschooled. I don't know if that's the case with her children, but somebody's got to be at home with these kids. Yeah. And Candy is traveling, and that isn't shady. That's just the reality of the life. And if you're always going, always away, you're dragging the kids through airports. And is that the best thing for them? And I don't know the answer. That's for Candy and Todd to decide.
Yeah.
But that's her life, right? And I think he should ask for that.
What about him now questioning the prenuptial agreement? Challenging.
Yeah, I think that's standard. Candy, we all need to have, as a community, a come to Jesus moment about how you hire counsel. Because when I saw that video of her lawyer storming into that room with some video recorder trying to record him signing it and saying, yes, you talked to an attorney, and yes, you were, and having him kind of go through this rendition and make these proclamations, I thought this is not going to age well. And I don't know if it was staged or what, but that means nothing. The reality is, if it's true that he signed it only moments before the wedding, that is suspect. That's just suspect. It is what it is. You want, even if he'd been presented the agreement prior, he did not sign it. And so he could argue that there's a reason he didn't sign it. He didn't think it was advantageous. As I recall, he even said, my lawyer advised me not to sign it.
Now you got me. I'm going to have to go back because I can't remember. I mean, it was so long ago now, like 14 years. Well, not 14, like 11 years. So I'm like, okay.
I'm pretty sure that was like a comment that he made. My lawyer advised me not to sign it. And so, I don't know why his lawyer advised him not to sign it. But if for some reason he was unfairly disadvantaged in the agreement and he signed it under the pressures of an impending wedding within a few hours, you don't have to hold a gun to somebody's head for it to be duress. It's just, you want to have a cool head when you sign that type of an agreement, because people say they marry for love, but marriage is a business arrangement. Let's be clear. Yeah. That's what it is.
'Tis the season for identity theft. This time of year, most of us are checking off our holiday gift lists. But guess what? Identity thieves have lists too, and your personal information might be on them. Protect your identity with LifeLock. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second and alerts you to threats you could miss by yourself, even if you keep an eye on your bank and credit card statements. If your identity is stolen, your own U.S.-based restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. And all plans are backed by the $1 Million Protection Package. The last thing you want to do this holiday season is face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or other financial losses from identity theft all alone. Make this season about joy, not identity theft, with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Call 1-800-LifeLock and use promo code IHEART. Or go to lifelock.com/iHeart for 40% off. Terms apply.
I've got Dan Morgan here on the pod. Say hi, Dan.
Hey, how's it going today?
It's going good, man. Tell us who you are and what you do.
I'm Dan Morgan. I'm an attorney and a managing partner at Morgan & Morgan, which is America's largest injury law firm.
That's pretty awesome. I think I saw a billboard of yours recently that said 20 billion won. 20 billion is an insane number.
Yeah, 20 billion recovered. It's actually, I think, somewhere north, probably closer to 22, 23 after this year. And each year we get bigger and badder and our army grows. So the number will hopefully keep getting bigger and bigger as time goes on.
Awesome. So how does someone get in contact with Morgan & Morgan? What would I do if I got into an accident?
Probably the easiest way is dialing pound law. That's pound 529 from your cell phone. We are always open. Our call center is always waiting to take your call. 24/7, 365.
Wow. Dan Morgan from Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Thanks for coming by the show.
Thanks for having me.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Okay, only 10 more presents to wrap. You're almost at the finish line. But first... There, the last one. Enjoy a Coca-Cola for a pause that refreshes.
And so they have a long-term marriage, which is what is noted under the law. They've been married for over 10 years. Lots of things have changed in 10 years from when they first sat down to get married. They done had kids. They've got all these businesses. his lifestyle and even Candy's lifestyle has changed significantly, perhaps in a way that neither of them could have even envisioned. So maybe a relook as to whether or not the prenuptial agreement is the best mode to determine how they're going to, dissolve this union. I think he's got a good lawyer. Yeah. What I do note, though, is that his tone, although he was challenging these things, his tone, in my opinion, still seemed very amicable.
Yeah.
As I note, someone observed that she's a great mother. So it doesn't sound like he's like, yo, you need to pay my way. Sounds like he's just like, yeah, I want physical custody because I'm going to be the one that got the kids all the time anyway. You going to be gone.
You're
totally
Broadway.
reasonable.
She's going to be on Broadway for the next few months until March.
Yeah. And so now what Candy has to do is say, yes, this is how my schedule and a joint physical custody arrangement is going to be most beneficial for the kids. Now she's going to have to go on her bag and demonstrate that it's in the best interest that they have shared physical custody. And one of the questions that I know came up was about the child support. And, you can have, they can have shared physical custody. And if the kids are with one party more, like they typically do a split in terms of the time. And if the kids are with both parents 50-50 and they're enjoying a similar lifestyle, then custody at both houses, then child support may not be an issue. But if one parent lives in a one-bedroom condo and the kids have, a sprawling estate at the other parent's house, the goal is to have the children have a similar lifestyle wherever they're at.
Yeah.
That's the goal. So
if he's not living that same lifestyle once he moves out of that house, if he moves out of that house, he could ask for more.
Well, he may be awarded child support in the event that they were to even get a 50-50 split. He could still end up getting child support if it was necessary to ensure the kids didn't experience any type of deprivation of their lifestyle. Now, that's not to say that he has to also be living in a mansion, but certainly there's a disparity between your dad staying in a one-bedroom apartment and you having to sleep on the couch versus at your mama house where there's 10 bedrooms and y'all got an acre to go outside and play. Like, so those are two different, the spectrum is massive.
Yeah.
But I think it's totally reasonable. I think he had a respectful statement, as I recall. And I think that he has to do that in order to get any respect for the investments that he really did make into this marriage, even if it was just holding her purse. Like, he made some investments. So good for him.
Well, I just randomly thought of that. Miss Esquire, if you're listening, feel free to call in back just because I want to hear both perspectives. But what did you want to say about Married to Medicine?
What I wanted to say was that I am a longtime Bravo girl back from Queer Eye for the Straight Guy before, the original OCs. I remember the OC Housewives. I remember when it was in pilot. And I think Bravo has lost its way. I mean, Miss Esquire with the read on Dr. Jackie, and another caller that mentioned, we need more youth. I don't want to be an ageist, but I remember when reality TV was aspirational. Dr. Jackie's being really regular. What she could teach us all is how to stay married when you know your husband is a philanderer. Like, that's the lesson I want her to share with us all. Because that's what she, seriously. Like, what can... It's not the fashions. She's mean. Seeing she and Simone go out to lunch is dry. And
that's not even real. We're on the street.
Yeah, it's like a whole fake friendship. And I don't want to hear them talking to any patients. I could care less about the patients. It's the lifestyle that we want to kind of see those types of things. And I lit up seeing Dr. Mimi. I really enjoy seeing Dr. Quad, although I really appreciate Dr. Contessa's read of Quad.
Dr. Quad?
Quad, not Dr. Quad. Dr. Contessa. Dr. Contessa read Quad when she said, the easiest way to get her upset is to talk about her money. And I appreciated that montage because it's true.
Yeah.
But I'd like to see, as you pointed out, a shakeup of the cast, or else I'm only gonna watch if I'm like have it on in the background while I'm doing some work or something. But I didn't really care for this episode. Looking for a refresh.
Yeah. And I thought we were going to get that I didn't realistically. I think at the end of last season, I thought we might get a refresh, and I was highly disappointed.
Yeah. Yeah. I love Dr. Heavenly, though. I know people don't like her.
I mean, in her heyday, she was fantastic, but there were a lot of things in these last couple of seasons. Like, I think she's taking it too far.
Maybe it's as people get comfortable and they start saying the wrong thing out their mouth. Because I think that's the issue with Dr. Heavenly. She just probably took it 2 steps too, maybe 5 steps too far with some of the remarks she's made. I missed her presence, but when you think about it, she wasn't really adding anything substantive. It was just like yelling and fussing. And I think that Toya, being the bone collector, she did pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, really
30 minutes in, I was bored, but towards the end, it was really Toya bringing it.
Yeah. And like you, I love her real estate situation. So I don't be mad when she switched up. I'd be like, okay.
I'm ready for it. 2 seasons from now, she better be moving to a new house.
Well, that's what I mean when I say teach me something. Like, show me what it looks like to live in a $3 million house. You know what I mean? Like, that's the type of thing that is entertaining for me personally.
Yeah.
So. Anyway, Kemp.
Thank you, Coco. We appreciate you.
All right. Y'all have a good one.
You too. Bye. All right. I'm going to bring Miss Esquire back up. I want to, first of all, say thank you. We had a couple of, we had a super chat that I wanted to read. Mr. Mellon Magic, thank you for the super chat. Mr. Mellon says, Quad and Simone are both wrong in different ways. I'm just glad that Earl Grey isn't there. So we tell you. Voting for Heavenly is like taking financial lessons from Toya. Damn. Angel says Kempire Butter has a fire lineup today. You and Miss Kim Cole. And, well, damn, I can't think. It's on the tip of my tongue. Lord have mercy. Forgive my brain. T.S. Madison. There we go. Whew. Yeah, T.S. Madison was on this morning as well. Yeah, so I will be the last one. Kempire After Dark this evening at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. PST. So I won't be here much longer. We're going to get these last couple of callers. But Miss Esquire was in the chat, and she said this, and I'm going to bring Miss Esquire up in just a second. She says, the fact that Todd ignored his counsel's advice not to sign a prenup will come back to haunt him. Then she said, I wonder if Todd is going to be able to show he's taken more of the primary parenting responsibilities during the kids' lives. And she says he absolutely could ask for more, even if 50-50, but much more if he's granted primary custody. So that was my thought, Ms. Esquire, in regards to when I reported on the breaking news earlier. I was just like, I wonder if he's seeking primary custody for, not just because he literally is the primary physical person around and because Candy travels a lot, but I was like, is there another ploy to that? What's your perspective for, on this breaking news about Todd seeking primary physical custody and also questioning the prenuptial agreement?
Well, first of all, always going to shout out Miss Coco Esquire. I love my girl down. She is so great. I learn a lot when I listen to her, so I love listening to her. And I don't think we're going to diverge too much. But what I will say is I think I agree with her to a certain extent that he could have gone for the jugular and gone for sole physical custody, not joint legal custody. I think that's a very reasonable and respectful place to start when talking about custody is like, hey, I think I should be the primary parent, but I think we should make all the legal decisions together about like where they go to school or any health issues that they have. So that is where he's sort of starting. And again, my concern would be, given that Candy is so busy and she has so many businesses, like, is he going to be able to show, no, like, I'm actually the person who takes them to their activities and takes them on play dates and knows their teachers and goes to the parent conferences and communicates with the doctors and makes the dental appointments. Because, they did have a non-traditional marriage, it seemed to me, where the gender roles were not so rigid. And so it may come to pass that he's able to show that. And so then the question really is, which parent, if they have a healthy co-parenting relationship and the kids have a healthy relationship with both of them, which parent is in the best position to do the primary parenting? Now, to Coco Esquire's point, I think the problem is his lifestyle that he can maintain on his own is not going to allow him to do that. And if they've equally co-parented the kids, then to me, the courts, in the best interest of the children, to have them not have as much disruption in their life, for their schedules not to change, for their environments not to change as much as possible, would lean towards keeping them where they are and allowing very, very heavy visitation with their dad, maybe 50-50, 1 week on, 1 week off kind of thing. 1 week on, 1 week off, people think of 50-50 visitation as like, oh, that has to be the optimal situation. It really isn't. Not for the kids, it's not. Because you have to think they're in different living situation week by week. They have different routines, different environments, different schedules. That's really, really hard. It actually is preferable in a lot of places, in the best interest of the child, to give them one primary place where they live and very heavy visitation and involvement with the other parent. So I just wanted to also say that, like, I think a lot of people perceive 50-50 visitation or custody as like the optimal situation. It really isn't for the kids. It might be for the adults involved, but that's not what the courts consider. They consider what is in the best interest of the children. You have two very young children who have known their parents to be married in the same household since the beginning of their lives. They're already going to go through a lot of changes, having to adjust to the fact that their parents are not together. Then you taking them in and out of their home. It's very disruptive. It's very unhealthy for them. You can see behavioral issues, academic issues result from all of that. And these are very formative years. So it will be interesting to see how he's able to support him being the primary parent. That is what I worry about for Candy. Has he been the primary parent during the marriage? Because if so, then they're more used to his routine, his structure, his flow, and you're like the parent who kind of comes in and out. And what does it look like for that now to swap? How much support would you need? Would that be putting a lot of people in their lives? If you remember when Martell and Melody were going through this, one of the legitimate things I think Martell was able to say, although there wasn't much, was, hey, you do a lot of traveling, you have a lot of nannies. When you're out of town, I would like sort of a right of first refusal when it comes to my kids. Why should they be with some caregiver that you've, hired, or family member, as opposed to me being able to have that quality time with them? That's another argument that sort of kind of will play into whether primary custody is given to one parent or another. The courts do. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Do you think that it was a smart decision in her taking on this Broadway role?
I think it's a very interesting decision because I would imagine that the children are domiciled in Georgia. I would imagine that they're educated in Georgia unless they're homeschooled. And so Broadway is 8 shows a week. The only day you get off is Monday. And so I don't know how she's going to be able to do 8 shows a week and primarily parent the children from New York if they're domiciled in Georgia. This is a Georgia filing, which suggests to me they are a Georgia family. This is a Georgia marriage. That's where all of their estate and marital property is. And you're in New York for work right now. It doesn't sound like a great fact in her favor.
Could they grant temporary primary custody while she's doing this?
They could, but the question I think that Todd's attorney is going to raise, okay, Your Honor, if you give her primary custody, how is that going to be administered? How is she going to primarily parent those children? Is that going to happen through caretakers like their grandmother, like uncles, or like nannies? If so, then you're depriving my client, who is in Atlanta, who is in Georgia, who's familiar with the children's schedule, from having that quality parenting time with them. Why should that be the case? How is that in the children's best interest? How does that ensure that they keep a strong relationship with their father and there's no alienation from their father while the couple goes through this transition?
Yeah.
If I'm his counsel, those are my kind of arguments for why, she shouldn't be. If there's going to be a temporary situation, let it be a temporary situation that keeps the kids in as stable and as consistent a situation as they're used to as possible. And right now, he may be able to show that's with him, particularly if he can obtain housing really quickly that's in the school district or near where the kids' activities are, and it's not very disruptive. If he's willing to allow visitation with their grandmother, with their other siblings, he's willing to facilitate all of that and agree to that. He's willing to bring them to New York to see their mom on weekends. Like, there's arguments he could make in that situation, but it just kind of depends on what the court thinks is in the kid's best interest.
Thoughts on the prenuptial agreement? For those that are just joining us, I'm just asking our legal eagles in the building their thoughts on the recent breaking news that Todd Tucker, Candy Burris' soon-to-be ex-husband is seeking primary physical custody, joint legal custody, but he's also questioning the prenuptial agreement, stating that he basically signed it under duress. What are your
Yeah,
thoughts?
I think it's a legal strategy and tactic to sort of bring in as much as you kind of throw in everything but the kitchen sink kind of approach.
Mm-hmm.
And because I don't see it. I don't see even the facts. I don't see any facts being alleged in the response that even to me present duress. Like he had the benefit of counsel during this time. We all saw that clip where he said, I'm signing this against my counsel's advice, which means he had the benefit of counsel. He was aware of what he was doing and he deemed it in his best interest. He is on camera during that videotaped signing with her counsel, answering all of those affirmative acknowledgement and informational questions that usually make a prenup airtight. I don't know what the legitimate argument is that they have, but it looks like to me a legal strategy similar to what Miss Coco Esquire said, which was a great point when we were talking about the Wendy case. Remember when I was like, I don't know why they would separate this into two cases. That's expensive for them. Why would they want to put themselves through that, their family that? And she was like, girl, this is legal strategy to wear the courts down, to make these prosecutors work for this conviction, to lead them into wanting to, settle this or dismiss charges. And he's like, okay, right? I forgot that sometimes we just make things weird and awkward as attorneys through legal strategy to make things expensive, to make things go on longer, and to entice someone to settle with you on favorable terms. The prenup feels like it's in that area because the facts just don't seem to suggest that there's legitimacy to a duress claim. But maybe more facts will come out that, make his claim seem more legitimate. I just don't see him right now, but I can see the legal strategy, and at least you can't win arguments that you don't make, essentially. And so sometimes you have to make arguments if there's a colorable claim for you to make them, and there are facts that could, suggest that the claim is legitimate.
So would you say this is less messy than just a legal strategy?
I mean, I'm sure I think it's like what it feels like as a lawyer to watch people make certain claims. It's like, okay, I can understand your strategy around that. I can't imagine what that feels like for Candy because the whole point of that entire ordeal of going through the prenup and all of the arguments that they had is that you're buying your peace for when things do go, a different way. This was supposed to be our insurance policy that we agreed to at the front end when we loved each other, when we were on the same page for what might happen if the time came where we had to part ways. I was buying my peace then that I'm supposed to have now on that issue. And I'm sure for her it feels like a betrayal.
Yeah.
On top of whatever other betrayal she feels.
Well, if y'all saw my breaking story with this, I told you the tea that I heard in regards to the divorce. Before you go, Miss Esquire, Coco Esquire sent a super chat. Thank you so much, Coco Esquire. She says, the feeling is mutual. Love to hear and learn from you, Miss Esquire. Todd challenging the prenup forces a conversation. Candy is a former single mom, is not going to want to lose physical custody.
Let me tell you something. As a single mom of two, baby, I can't being with if you're with your babies all the time. That's why I feel so bad when people do get divorced. As hard as it is as a single mom, I don't have to send my babies anywhere week after week.
Yeah.
And as much as I try to tell my friends who have gone through it, hey, take that time to invest in you, do the things you want to do. Girl, you get a week off from your kids. You don't have children. Melody said this one time during Love and Marriage Huntsville. She's like, I didn't have children to not see them every single day. And when she said, I remember that from years ago, and she said that it broke my heart because who has babies? And for half of the month, you don't know if they are having good dreams, nightmares, if they feel bad, if they need a hug, they had a good, you can find out through calls, but that would torture me, honestly. I can't imagine. But it is their dad. They seem to both love those babies. If there's any heart to be had in this, it's as long as Candy knows they're good with Todd.
Yeah.
As long as he's been a very active dad and a very active parent, maybe that will be a saving grace here. But I still can't imagine any mother not wanting to tuck their babies in every single night.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Miss Esquire, Coco Esquire, thank you both.
Bye.
Take care. Yes, guys, I am going to clip those conversations out because I know some of you probably were not interested in the latest episode of Married to Medicine. So for those that are interested to hear our legal eagles weigh in on the breaking news that we had earlier today, if you missed the video, I did do a separate video where I talk about that breaking news. So be sure to check that out. It's pinned in our YouTube chat. But for those that are watching on X and those that are watching on Facebook and Twitch, head on over to our YouTube channel, follow us there. Don't forget at 6 p.m. Eastern today for Cyber Monday, we will be with our friends over at Butta for giveaways, discounts. I'll be talking about all the things. So there is a link for that available in the description. Let's get to these last couple of callers, and then I have to go because I need to rest my voice before I start talking a little bit more later on. Let me bring up Elise next. Elise, what's going on? What did you want to share about Married to Medicine?
Hey, Kempire, can you hear me?
Yes.
So first of all, I love our legal eagles because y'all did that. Y'all did your big one. Second of all, don't mess with Mr. Todd, Mr. Miss Doctor, her storyline quad, nor Dr. Jackie. So first of all, with Todd, are you going to treat them babies once you get full custody how you did Kayla? Because we will never forget how you did her. Are you going to take that money and do them kids how you did Kayla? Oh, you don't want them to be spoiled, but you spending up all the money, honey. So, second of all, with Miss Quad, girl, we are sick and tired of you. We just tired. Girl, we tired. You have been exhausted. Your long speeches are exhaustive. Everything about you is it's exhaustive. Like, girl, we're sick. And Dr. Jackie, you're nasty and you're disgusting and you're foul. I have a thyroid issue too, and I'm not gonna point out no thyroid issue in a woman. You don't know what that woman is going through because we go through fertility issues. We might lose our teeth. I have hypothyroidism, and I also have Hashimoto's thyroiditis. That's a lot of struggle. Some days we can't get up out of the bed. So why would you point that out to somebody? You're a nice, nasty, and you're disgusting, and you need to go.
Elise,
that's all I gotta say about them people, honey.
Thanks, Elise, for calling in. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
I'm glad we were talking about it because it stood out to me, and I think a lot of people will brush over that little part in the episode where Dr. Jackie points out Brandy's. I don't think, but Brandy says she was fine, so she's like she doesn't have an enlarged thyroid. So, and again, I don't think that was Dr. Jackie trying to express real concern because if you did, you would have pulled someone to the side. You probably would have done it off camera as well. All right. Last but definitely not least, we're going to bring up Keith. Close this out, Keith. What are your final thoughts on Married to Medicine?
Hey, Kempire, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm trying to make this really quick. I'm sure you want to eat before your 6 o'clock meeting, so I'm trying to do
that's right.
So one thing, first thing first, Tadrika, I'm not surprised, but I'm actually still a little surprised. And this is actually why I understand why a lot of women say they don't want to date men that make less than them because of situations like this. And even me being a gay man, this is why I don't date men that make less than me. See, and I don't know why y'all ladies doing it. So y'all, this is exactly why I wish him the best, but I expected more from him. As far as Married to Medicine, I guess it was a decent episode. But I have a question with Quad. Who decides to go through an IVF journey and you're not actually even living with the man? I'm confused. It's kind of backwards. And I feel like their relationship kind of reminds me of, what's her name? Kiana and Greg. Oh. I feel like they're going very backwards. It's not concise. I feel like they're trying to put the cart before the horse and they just need to move forward in a straight pace because that's how you end up in a convoluted situation and a convoluted relationship with your partner because nothing's consistent. But yeah, that's really about it. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, one last thing. Toya, I feel like this home is a downgrade from your previous home. So I'm confused on how this home is better. I feel like this home is much smaller. Because didn't her previous home have like 2 stories for her closet?
Yeah, her closet. Didn't I say? I said I felt like her previous closet was better.
Yeah.
I thought I was going crazy. I didn't like this closet.
But yeah, that's what I had. Thank you, though.
Thank you, Keith. Take care. All right. I thought I was going crazy. I was like, I don't know, but okay. I would have to go back and watch the previous. But in regards to the closet, I prefer the 2-story closet. But we also have to keep in mind when it comes to reality television, a lot of the times they're not being 100% completely honest about the situation at hand. So we still, I don't think we ever really made sense. Well, her excuse was that they were able to make a profit from selling the previous home, hence why they went into renting. And now I don't know. All right. I don't know. Tish, thank you so much for the super chat. Tish says, shout out to the Esquires and you, Kemp. Love hearing from the experts because the internet had me thinking Todd was being unreasonable. That's why I said it's important to ask these questions. And as I read through it, I was just like, this just might be his attorney strategy. So we'll have to wait and see if this divorce is going to get messy. But again, like Miss Esquire just said, I wonder how Candy feels about it because she's going to take this as a mother, not necessarily as an attorney breaking it down. But for us, I think people are already beating up on Todd, but I already told y'all, Todd might deserve some of those lashings based off the tea on why there's a divorce. But we will have to wait and see if that information ever really comes out. Guys, as always, I hope you enjoyed our Married to Medicine / Candy and Todd review. Be sure to share your thoughts. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to share this video. I will see you guys at 6 p.m. I'll be streaming here on YouTube, but in order to make purchases to win giveaways and the discounts, head on over to the link available tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern for our Brutta Skin live Cyber Monday special event. Clock that glow. All right, I'll be clocking that glow. You see all my little stuff behind me. So we have a lot to get into this evening. I will see you guys then. Bye, y'all.
Thanks for tuning in to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network. Don't forget to give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And for more information on the podcast, head on over to KempireRadio.com.